Okay, picture this for a second. You're surrounded by the incredibly lush green mountains of the Anbaru jungle. You can actually hear the distant sound of the sea. You're eating a piece of homemade, sweet and tart shikuwasa cake. And all around you, neighbors are just dancing, singing, and laughing. But here's the catch. You aren't at a college party or some typical weekend block party. You're celebrating a vibrant, energetic woman's 99th birthday, and she is out on the floor moving like she's in her 20s. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to unpack exactly how a lifestyle like this is not just possible, but completely normal in one very specific corner of the globe. All right, let's dive into this. Today, we're extracting the core insights from Chapter 6 of the international bestseller, Ikigai, The Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life. The authors actually travel to a place where there are more centenarians, people over 100 years old, than almost anywhere else in the world. We are going to dig into their exact philosophies, their daily routines, and their deeply held beliefs to figure out what on earth they know about aging that the rest of us simply don't. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll welcome you to Ogimi, explore the local community and their spiritual lore, and then break down the elders' 5 keys to longevity. After that, we'll translate all of this into an actionable playbook for your modern life before giving you a quick glimpse into the next chapter. So our journey takes us to Ogimi. It's this rural town sitting right at the northern end of Okinawa, Japan. And just getting there is an experience. You drive past the sparkling sea on one side and incredibly dense jungle on the other. It's a haven of about 3,000 residents. But honestly, if you look at it from a bird's eye view, the houses are so beautifully hidden among the greenery that you kind of wonder where everyone is. Ogimi actually holds the Guinness record for longevity. And when you arrive, there's this profound sense that time has just stopped. Everyone is always moving, always doing something, but absolutely no one is in a rush. Now, a huge part of this tranquil, grounded lifestyle stems from their deep, deep connection to the natural world. And honestly, you can't talk about Ogimi without talking about the Bunagaya. These are magical red-haired sprites of the Anbaru jungle. According to local lore, these playful, slightly unpredictable spirits love to hide in the banyan trees, and they even go fishing on the local beaches. The villagers believe that the Bunagaya absolutely love the mountains, the rivers, the wind, and the animals. And if you want to befriend them, you absolutely must show respect for nature. It's just a beautiful metaphor for how these centenarians treat their environment every single day. And this respect for nature, it ties directly into their spiritual life, which is this unique blend known as Ryuku Shinto. It's an ancient animistic faith that honors the spirits of the home, the forest, and the mountains. But what I find incredibly fascinating is that in this local religion, women, who are known as yuta, are considered the spiritual leaders and the mediums for the entire community. They also believe that every single person possesses a Maboui. Think of it as an immortal essence or spirit that is the true source of your life force. Having this deep spiritual grounding gives the residents this profound sense of peace and belonging in the universe. Now, what's really interesting about this is how that spiritual connectedness translates directly into daily practical action. They call it Yuimaru, the spirit of teamwork. In Ogimi, volunteer work and mutual help often literally replace money as the driving force of the town. I mean, think about it. If someone needs to harvest sugarcane, the whole community chips in. If someone is building a house, their friends just show up to help them build it. The local government even organizes tasks so that everyone, no matter their age, feels useful and essential. You are never, ever left to fend for yourself. You're woven into this unbreakable social fabric. Let's be real for a second. When we put the Ogimi lifestyle side by side with our modern Western lifestyle, the contrast is truly staggering. Modern life so often pushes us toward isolation, right? We're rushing from one screen to the next, sitting at desks for hours, just marinating in chronic stress. But Ogimi offers the exact opposite solution to these aging factors. Their lifestyle is inherently communal. It is completely unhurried. They are physically active all day long. And, perhaps the best part, it is deeply, deeply celebratory. And that celebratory nature is exactly what fuels their daily joy. I mean, their social calendar is packed. They have these neighborhood groups called Moai that act like a second family. They provide emotional and even financial support. They play these fierce games of gate ball, which is a low-impact sport with mallets and a ball. Actually, the authors of the book played a game with the locals and got soundly defeated by a 104-year-old woman. No way, right? They sing karaoke together weekly, and they celebrate birthdays constantly. Life there is just a continuous shared party. So, the crucial point is, how do we distill this magical village culture down into individual habits? Well, through over 100 interviews with the oldest residents, the authors identified 5 distinct keys to longevity. These are the core principles these centenarians live by every single day. Don't worry, cultivate good habits, nurture friendships every day, live an unhurried life, and be fiercely optimistic. Let's look a little closer at exactly how they pull each of these off. Let's start with key number 1. Don't worry. One elder gave this amazing advice. The secret to a long life is not to worry. Open your heart to people with a nice smile on your face. For them, avoiding anxiety isn't about, meditating in silence on a mountaintop. It's highly social. They literally go out into the street and say hello to people. By actively greeting everyone and keeping this friendly disposition, they're building a psychological shield against stress and isolation. And this brilliantly illustrates our second key, cultivating good habits. They do these gentle daily stretching routines called radio Taiso. Almost everyone in the village participates, even folks in wheelchairs. But good habits go way beyond just exercise for them. It means waking up early, often at 4 or 6 a.m., to tend to their vegetable gardens. Another incredible habit they emphasized was keeping their fingers busy. Whether that's peeling vegetables, weaving wicker, or gardening, they truly believe that staying dexterous, connecting the fingers to the brain, is a major secret to keeping the mind sharp well past 100 years old. Moving on to the third key, which is nurturing friendships every single day. One resident beautifully put it like this: talking each day with the people you love, that's the secret to a long life. And guys, this isn't about passive scrolling on social media. This is active engagement. One elder mentioned standing by the road from 7:20 to 8:15 every single morning just to wave at passing cars and children going to school, yelling, "Drive safely." Others have a strict daily routine of walking to the sea, then heading straight to a friend's house just to drink green tea and chat. Friendship is a daily practice for them, not a weekend luxury. Key number 4 is living an unhurried life. My secret to a long life is always saying to myself, slow down and relax. You live much longer if you're not in a hurry. Now, this definitely doesn't mean they do nothing. In fact, they're always busy. One man described waking up, praying, exercising, eating breakfast, and then calmly working on his wicker crafts from 7 a.m. until 5 p.m. The real secret is that they only do one thing at a time. They never allow themselves to get overwhelmed by multitasking. They are busy, for sure, but they are deeply, deeply relaxed. And the final, 5th key, is profound optimism. Laugh. Laughter is the most important thing. I laugh wherever I go. These elders wake up and literally tell themselves, today will be full of health and energy. Even at 98 years old, they genuinely consider themselves young with so much left to do. They don't dwell on the past. They feel incredibly fortunate just to have been born in Ogimi, and they express that gratitude through constant smiles, singing, and dancing with their grandchildren. Now, let's pivot and see how this builds into our own lives. Because you might be sitting there thinking, okay, this sounds wonderful, but I live in a massive, busy city, not a tropical Japanese village with forest sprites. And that is a very valid point. But the beauty of the Ogimi lifestyle is that it is fundamentally based on human connection and daily routines, not just geography. So how do we take the macro community support and the micro daily habits of these centenarians and actually implement them in a modern metropolis today? Well, here is your actionable playbook to implement Ikigai today. Step 1, form your own Moai. You need a dedicated, small group of friends who agree to look out for each other emotionally and, hey, perhaps even financially. Step 2, adopt an unhurried daily ritual. Seriously, stop trying to do 5 things at once. Pick a morning stretching routine or just set a dedicated time for tea or coffee and do it calmly with single-tasking focus. Step 3, start a vegetable garden. Now, actually, scratch that. It doesn't have to be literal tomatoes. It just means finding a physical, active hobby that requires you to use your hands and gets you moving outside gently every single day. Find your purpose and pursue it calmly. So, we've explored the incredible mindset, the magical lore, and the unbreakable community bonds that allow the people of Ogimi to thrive well past 100 years of age. But wait, a massive piece of the puzzle is still missing. We've mastered the mind and the community, but what exactly fuels these centenarians' bodies every single day? What on earth are they eating to power all this gateball and karaki? Well, you'll have to join us for our next explainer as we dive into Chapter 7 and uncover the secrets of the Ikigai diet. Until then, remember to slow down, smile, and find your reason for getting out of bed tomorrow.